Good afternoon and welcome to the California State University Bakersfield Presidential Search Open Forum. We appreciate your attendance here today and all campus and community members who are joining us virtually via Zoom. I'm Doug Fagan, member of the CSU Board of Trustees, and it is my privilege to also serve as chair of this search committee. The meeting today will be focused on hearing from you, the students, faculty, staff, alumni, and extended community. You're all represented on this committee, but you're also represented by those who will be speaking at today's open forum. In addition to hearing from our public speakers today, our committee members representing students, faculty, staff, and alumni also engage with their constituents and will bring that critically important feedback to our committee discussions throughout the search process. Any member of the campus community may also provide written input on the campus presidential search website. We're eager to hear from all of you throughout this initial stage of the search process and ultimately find the best and most successful next president of CSU Bakersfield. Between now through the summer and into early fall, the committee will work with our search consultants to recruit and seek nominations and applications of highly qualified individuals. The full committee will review resumes and identify candidates to interview in early September, with final candidates meeting with the Board of Trustees later in the month at the September board meeting. At this time, I'd like to have the members of the search committee and search team introduce themselves. Which way should we go? Okay, Wenda Fong.
Good afternoon and welcome. So excited to see this wonderful group of people. I am Wenda Fong and I have the honor and pleasure of being the chair of Board of the Trustees for the CSU.
Hello, I'm Thomas Wallace and I have the honor of serving as Vice President for Student Affairs.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Yvette Morones and I am the advising coordinator for SSE and I serve as your staff representative.
Good morning, or good afternoon, everyone. My name is Erin Pruitt, and I am the incoming ASI president, and I am very honored to represent students in the search. Thank you.
Good afternoon. For purposes of this panel, I'm the alumni representative. My name is Andres Chavez. Look forward to hearing from you all. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Andy Jones. I'm the Executive Vice Chancellor and General Counsel for the CSU system.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Leora Friedman. I'm the Vice Chancellor for Human Resources for the system, and I'm here to staff the committee and the search. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Dr. Tracy Salisbury, Founding Department Chair of Ethnic Studies and CFA Chapter President. I'm a faculty representative.
Good afternoon. My name is Connie Perez Andreessen, and I'm here representing the CSUB Foundation.
Hello, everyone. Jonathan Molina Mancio, student trustee.
Good afternoon. Dr. Katie Russell, Superintendent of the Panama Buena Vista Union School District.
Good afternoon. I'm Melissa Danforth. I'm the current Vice Chair of the CSUB Academic Senate and Chair-elect for the Academic Senate for next year, and I'm here representing the faculty.
I'm Ann Hassamo, and I'm with Academic Search, one of a team of 3 here with you today to listen to your thoughts, and you should know that when prospective candidates ask us what do the staff think about, what do the students think about, what do the faculty think about, we'll be able to use your words.
Good afternoon, all. My name is Jay Lemons. I'm the president and a senior consultant at Academic Search. Really thrilled and delighted to be here in Bakersfield. A shout out to Sylvia, if she happens to be in the room. Many of you may know Sylvia, who helped render a great first impression for all of us. Sylvia, thank you. You are our first impression of this place, and it was smashingly warm and wonderful. So thank you for your help and care.
I'm Chris Butler, a consultant with Academic Search. Thanks so much for being here today.
Good afternoon. I'm Thomas Parham, President of California State University, Dominguez Hills, and I'll be the presidential representative on this search.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Raji Brar. I'm a trustee on the CSU, also a double alumnus for CSU Bakersfield, and also on the CSU Bakersfield Foundation Board.
Hello, everyone. Aaron Hegde, Professor of Economics, Chair of the Academic Senate, and Chair of the Faculty.
Good afternoon. My name is Daisy Alamio, and I serve as this year's Associate Student President, and I am the student representative on this committee.
We'll leave this person for an introduction in a few minutes. But in the meantime, also serving on the search committee is trustee and board vice chair Jack Clark, who's unable to join us in person today, but is watching the open forum via live stream. On behalf of the board, I'd like to thank you all for serving on this critically important committee. I'd now like to ask Chancellor Garcia, and we should introduce Mildred Garcia, who's our new chancellor at the CSU system, whom we're very happy to have.
Thank you, Trustee Fagan. Buenas tardes. Good afternoon, everyone. It is a joy to be here at Cal State University, Bakersfield, and I thank each and every one of you for playing such an important role in this presidential search. Your participation today is vital, essential to this search process. Your voice, your input matters, and it is deeply, deeply valued. Again, thank you. Mil gracias. I'd like to take a moment to discuss confidentiality in the search process and the reason we approach a search with strict confidentiality. Because of the nature of this position, both candidates and the trustees expect to conduct the search in a confidential manner. We will have the lives and future of candidates in our hands in this search. We owe the candidates the professional courtesy of confidentiality. Many of the best candidates would not even consider engaging in a search like this with a non-confidential process. I think we can all agree we want the best next president for Cal State University, Bakersfield. Thus, we need a deep, strong, and diverse pool from across the country from which to select. To build that kind of vibrant pool with people currently at the top of their profession requires confidentiality. Many good people cannot disclose their interest here at CSUB if it risks damage where they presently work. Just think about it in terms of their bosses, the donors, their colleagues. Just think about them and how they are looking at us to think about this amazing place. At the end of the day, we're just going to appoint one person to be the next president, and we don't want to hurt others' careers as we do so. I acknowledge and respect other points of view and many recent opinions regarding how to conduct this process. While we always strive to enhance our practices for the CSU, we have experience in these presidential searches at the CSU and in the current market and climate. However, this is not a secret search. And yes, we do conduct these searches in a confidential manner for the many reasons I just outlined. The search will be inclusive, and the process is clearly outlined. The committee that you all heard from today are designed to be representative who will have full transparency. They will know and review the credentials of every single individual who is interested in this position. And we are all very eager to hear from you today as you give input to this amazing committee. So now, I will turn it back to our chair of the committee, Chair Fagan.
Thank you, Chancellor. So we're going to spend the next scheduled couple hours listening to anyone in the audience, any of you, who would like to speak and give comment. It's an open forum, and all are welcome to express themselves. However, This is not a question and answer session, so the committee will not be providing feedback, comments, or responses. We want to devote our entire time to hearing your thoughts about the next great leader of this institution. Additionally, we'll also hear from those who have registered to speak virtually via Zoom. So speakers, please think about the opportunities and challenges facing CSU Bakersfield in the coming years. What are the professional qualifications, experiences, and personal attributes that the next president should possess to successfully lead this great university? We'll begin with the speakers present in person who wish to address the search committee. Please come up, line up at the microphones. One's there, one's there. And for those registered participants providing comments via Zoom, those speakers will be called by name. When your name is announced, please unmute your audio. For all speakers, when it's your time to speak, please state your name, affiliation with the campus, and begin your comments. We're here to listen intently and hear from as many speakers as possible. Each speaker will have up to 3 minutes. When your time is concluded, we ask that you please yield to the next speaker to begin your comments. If any speaker is unable to share live comments with the committee today, you may submit your written feedback via survey link from the campus presidential search webpage. Please note that members of the committee may periodically look down, as I do, as we listen and take notes. It doesn't mean that we're not listening or falling asleep. This is not a time. This is going to be a very interesting and important discussion. So if we're looking down, we're taking notes, we are listening. The staff will also be taking copious notes throughout and provide the committee with a summary. Before we begin the public comment, I'd now like to turn it over once again, to Chancellor Garcia.
Thank you, Chair Fagan, and thank you to the entire committee for spending their time and for their service on this very important search. I would like to welcome all of you again, members of the CSU Bakersfield campus community, for joining us in today's open forum. As a reminder, this meeting is being webcast live and web archived. Not only are you speaking to the committee, but past experience will remind us that you're also speaking to the next president of CSU Bakersfield. Potential candidates are likely watching live, and candidates will likely watch once again in the coming months. Please keep that in mind as you share your important comments with the committee today. Chair Fagan.
Thank you, Chancellor Garcia. We'll begin with our in-person speakers first, and after they're done, we will then hear from the speakers virtually on Zoom. So let's hear from the community and hear what you have to say. Our first in-person speaker may begin.
Is it on? Hello? Okay. Good afternoon, President Search Committee. My name is Alejandro Martinez, and I'm a student here at CSUB, and I serve as the ASI Director of Community Outreach. This university has become important to me the longer I've been here, so therefore getting the right president is of great interest to me. In our next president, I would love to see someone who is not equivocal, but rather vocal and passionate for the work they do for students of this very campus. To add on to that, a president who is always available and allocates time to spend with our student population. One who can relate and speak for all groups we have here on campus. But finally, and most importantly, I would like to have a CSUB president who furthers their commitment to the community and someone who is much more involved with it as well. Someone who seeks to do things for passion and not for show. Thank you.
Hello. My name is Robert Hunt. I'm a graduate student. I'm a Marine Corps veteran. I'm here on the GI Bill, and I've worked at the Veteran Success Center here on campus for 3 years now. So what I would like to see in the next president is someone that has some experience in the job or a similar job, has a track record, a good track record. This is a pretty diverse campus, and that's advertised as a very good thing, and it is a good thing, but it brings about a lot of challenges, and those challenges is among that diversity, not everybody gets along and not everybody particularly likes each other. You guys may have opened up your news apps today and noticed a lot of universities are in the headlines for going nuts. Might have also noticed CSUB was not among those headlines because this place is peaceful and secure. We have a good police presence, good security presence, and the person overseeing all of that at the moment is the current interim president. So if possible, I'd like to advocate for keeping Dr. Harper around. He has a good relationship with the Veteran Success Center. He has dropped by to talk to us. He knows who we are and we know who he is, which I appreciate. So that is my 2 cents in the presidential search.
Good afternoon, everyone. I would first like to say thank you for affording me the opportunity to speak. For those that don't know who I am, my name is Jacob Pruitt, and I've served nearly 6 years in the Marine Corps as an infantryman and am now the Director of Veterans Affairs in ASI. I wanted to share my thoughts as it pertains to my community and by extension our community on campus. It is of paramount importance that the President of CSUB understand the unique culture and difficulties that every veteran faces every day. For service members who wish to attend CSUB, it is important the President is supportive of and an advocate for veterans on campus. Whether it is supporting the relocation of the Veteran Success Center or advocating for policy changes that directly affect veterans on campus. It is important the next CSUB president be approachable, transparent, and supportive of our endeavors as we excel and exceed expectations. Thank you.
Hi, my name is James Tompkins. I'm the current EVP of ASI. I work with Project Rebound as a peer navigator, and I'm a formerly incarcerated student. So for the next president, what we really want to see is someone that understands education isn't just about learning. It's about changing lives. Project Rebound on campus brought me from a former inmate, a person that didn't know what they were going to do next, to a person that's going to graduate with a 3.93 GPA. Got into the master's program. There are multiple programs like this on campus. Excel Scholars, Guardian Scholars. These programs that support special populations should be a focal point for the next president. These programs aren't just about learning. They're about creating new avenues of success and changing lives. And that's what CSUB is about. The next CSUB president needs to focus on that. It's about community, and this is our home. Thank you.
Good afternoon, committee. My name is Larry Gonzalez. I am this year's Vice President of University Affairs for ASI, President of the Veterans Club, former President of Club Rise, founding member for the club that's under Project Rebound. I did 7 years in the Army, 3 deployments. I also did an 18-month prison term. I have 9 children. One's at UC Merced because they don't want to be in the CSU system. One's a Marine because he didn't want to go to college. I got 6 in the system here at school, and I got a 3-year-old at home. Of those, I got 2 daughters. Most of the time, you can see me on campus with them because they're always with me. The next president here needs to be someone like the one that just left. Diverse, inclusive, open, interesting, helpful, talkative, answering. One that really has our lives. I'm going to graduate 3 weeks after I turned 40. We'll finally have a degree now. Project Rebound made that happen. CSUB made that happen. So let's get a president that keeps that going, please. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Thank you for letting me be a part of the search for CSUB's next president. My name is Elizabeth Boyle, and I'm an undergraduate communications major. I'm the president of Club Rise for Project Rebound, which is a program that helps empower the lives of formerly incarcerated students. As a student, I would like to see the next president of CSUB put action behind supporting the students, someone that shows up to events and dedicates their time to getting to know us. Someone that supports athletes all the way down to formerly incarcerated students. We want someone who is inclusive for all walks of life. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to share with you.
Good afternoon, committee. My name is Antonio Reyes, and I'm your incoming ASI Vice President for Legislative Affairs. After meeting with different students, a common theme that was shared was that our next president should have the ability to connect with our community, but still represent our values and dreams of our students. Our students understand that our county leans more conservative, but our students want more diversity and inclusion. They hope that our next president is able to instill a strong sense of diversity while still maintaining a relationship with the community. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Search Committee. It is my pleasure to be here to speak to you about what I view the next president to represent California State University here in Bakersfield. First of all, it's not just Bakersfield. Represent Kern County and all the outlying areas that unite us as one here at the lower end of Central Valley. That president must be inclusive, outgoing, and above all, must have the ethical behavior that he is representing here at this institution. I believe that the president that we have, the interim, has all those qualities. But in your search, be aware that you have to learn the community have to learn you. And of course, with any elected, appointed individual, it takes time. And so here I'm honored to say Dr. Vernon B. Hopper Jr. represents all of that. He has ingrained in this community his presence, whether it's with the clergy. I believe he works very well with the students and also with all the community leaders. So thank you for letting me have the opportunity to speak in behalf of this university. And as I close, I was here for the first one, Dr. Arsenega, Dr. Mitchell, and also our past first woman, Dr. Gillespie. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Haley Hernandez. I'm a first-generation college student, and this is my first semester here at CSUB as a transfer student from Bakersfield College. As the board searches for the university's sixth president, I'd like to give some of my input for qualities I think should be in the new president from the perspective of a first-generation transfer college student. First, I think one of the greatest qualities an incoming president can have to show how much they care for the students on this campus is by being interpersonal. A friendly, approachable person goes a long way in this leadership role because as college students, I think it's important for us to feel comfortable with the faculty that are around us. Having a president who is kind and charismatic and makes the effort to get to know students and their names creates bonds between the two, and this is important in getting our student community involved with the board. Being involved with campus events would be a great quality for the new president to partake in. Dr. Harper has done a great job in attending events across campus and making the effort to get to know students. I hope the new president can follow in these footsteps as well. A big quality I would love to see in the new president is being attentive, specifically for underpopulated groups on campus. Having someone who recognizes and shows their appreciation for not only transfer students who are seeking higher education, but also first-generation college students, students' parents, and formerly incarcerated students. I believe these minority groups on campus require the most support in order to succeed, and having a president who can partake and give their time of day to show their support will not only create better experiences for these students, but also make them feel welcome and supported on CSUB's campus, which is the ultimate goal. Thank you.
Hello and good afternoon to the members of the CSUB President Search Committee. My name is Jessica and I'm here today as a community member as well as a resident of Kern County. So CSUB plays a very vital role in our community here in Kern County for its affordability and accessibility to higher education, especially for many students who are low income and first generation students here in Bakersfield. Therefore, I think it is of utmost importance for the next CSUB president to truly take into consideration for a candidate who will prioritize and implement policies and programs that promote both economic and racial equity for the students attending this campus, considering that a large portion of the student body here are students of color. And that's it. Thank you for the opportunity.
Good afternoon. My name is Zaina Faraj, and I currently serve as the chair of the ASI board. I'm an officer for both the Sensational Sophomores class of 2026 and the Pre-Law Society here on campus. With that being said, I've had the pleasure of gaining insight on other students' recommendations and concerns for our future CSUB president. Many students have expressed that they would like the next president to be able to spark student life, engagement in student-led organizations, clubs, and leadership programs, as well as support student projects such as pushing forward the project of the Student Union expansion and the Aquatic Center. I hope you take this into consideration, and I thank you for your time.
Hello and good afternoon, members of CSUB President Search Committee. My name is Andrea Montero, and I am here as a college student and a community member based in Kern County. My brother is currently a first-generation student at CSUB, and he receives assistance from the programs that have been developed to help our low-income students have access to higher education resources and opportunities, which has allowed him to successfully have a transformative experience. As someone whose household would be affected by the direct result of the new CSUB president, I asked the President Search Committee to ensure our students a future that holds policies that reflect California's racial diversity, needs of its students, initiatives to close racial equity gaps, as well as including a plan of action for closing systematic racial equity gaps in higher education access and graduation. Thank you very much for listening to us.
Hello, Search Committee. My name is Erica Del Cruz, and I am the ASI Director of Business and Public Administration. ASI met with students and gathered input, and I am sharing with you a comment. Students would like to see the next CSUB president come from the Central Valley, as a lot of our students come from this region, and we need specialized and unique support that only a person from the Central Valley understands. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Salvador Contreras, and I'm a Bakersfield College student. As a concerned college transfer student, I am writing to you to express my thoughts on the crucial matter of selecting a new president to lead our esteemed university. In light of the diverse demographics within our student body, it is imperative that our next president embodies a commitment to inclusivity. Hiring a president who embodies the experiences and perspectives of low-income communities of color and queer youth will not only enrich our campus culture, but also ensure that their voices are heard and that their concerns are addressed at the highest levels of decision-making. I implore you to prioritize diversity, equity, and inclusion in the selection process, recognizing that representation matters and that our university's future success hinges on embracing and celebrating the full spectrum of human diversity. Thank you.
Hello and good afternoon, Search Committee. First, I want to thank you guys for coming out here and being a part of this process. My name is Marcela Diaz. I am a first-generation college student and a transfer student from Bakersfield College. At CSUB, I am a business major in my junior year, and in the search for the next president, I understand it is someone who plays an important role. So beyond being passionate, inclusive, patient, kind, and having adaptability, I, as the ASI Director for International Students, would like to see someone who engages with international students and makes them feel welcome for more enrollment and retention from our international students. Speaking of which, as the President for the Native and Indigenous Student Coalition, I would also like to see someone who increases and strengthens our Native community on campus by watching out for policies that affect us directly, such as Cal-NAGPRA, and making sure to build networks with the nearby tribes, such as Tohon, all to hopefully help build resources for Indigenous students here, and by understanding the culture and advocating for things. For example, making sure to have land acknowledgement before CSUB events, and making sure to protect the wildlife here on campus. As a track athlete as well, I would also appreciate to have a president who feels passionate with all sports and takes time to go out to sport events at least once through the semester, even if it's out of town. Thank you, and I appreciate it.
Good afternoon, CSUB Board Trustees and President Search Advisory Committee. My name is Belen Delgado. I am an Education Policy Coordinator with the Dolores Huerta Foundation. and I help support the advocacy of implementation for K through 12 policy throughout the Valley and state to ensure equitable access and student outcomes. I have participated with the Dolores Huerta Foundation since high school and learned the importance of being in spaces that uplift the voices of those most impacted. I come here today as a community member and future transfer student to highlight the need for a president that understands the needs, opportunities, and diverse demographics of the Central Valley community and the university population and its students and faculty. It is imperative that the candidates possess a record and commitment to operating openly and transparently with students, the legislature, and the public. The next president should have experience or be open to a plan of action for closing systematic racial equity gaps in higher education access and graduation. I also ask for candidates that show a record of courage and innovation in leading institutional change and removing unnecessary obstacles that prevent students from succeeding. We hope we can have a transparent search process that involves the entire community with updates on the timeline to keep residents and students informed with the most current information. I thank you for taking into consideration all that is being shared and for creating this opportunity.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Search Committee. Good afternoon, Chancellor Garcia. Buenas tardes, as Chancellor Garcia expressed before. I am Professor Anthony Nuño from the Department of Modern Languages and Literatures. I've been at CSUB for 23 years. I hope I don't get retaliation for this. Some of us get lots of retaliation. It comes from many ways and many forms. Again, thank you for the time. After my 23 years, I can tell that CSUB is ready for a change. CSUB is ready for a change, to change the spirit of this campus, to really enforce and engage in practices of inclusivity, appreciation of diversity, and please to stop retaliation of faculty of color like myself, that I have devoted 23 years to this institution. Generations of my students are already teachers throughout the high schools in California, throughout the country. Some of them who went into grad programs are professors. Many of our students are Chicanx and Latinx, and they come from my own background as first generation, and like our families who work in the fields in California, and as I did as a teenager. So I've been mentoring generations of students from all ethnic groups. And I think I can, after 23 years, really reflect on what I have given to this university and this community, and that's what I am 100% sure that we're in time for a change. Like one of the students said, we need an ex-president who really will practice inclusivity and respect for all, and like he said, not just for show, not just for show. We really need to really enforce and mean it. Lastly, my Mexican-American family, they have been very supportive through difficult years, and if some of you need details of what I'm talking about, I can give them to you. But I think in my last thought is to really embrace diversity and inclusion and respect for all on this campus. The Office of Inclusion needs to be restructured. It's very dangerous that some of us, as a Mexican-American indigenous professor, I am afraid to go and submit a complaint because of fear of more retaliation. Thank you so much for your time. I know I repeated the word retaliation a lot. That's very symbolic for that change. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Thank you guys for coming. We appreciate the open forum. My name is Cedric Brooks. I'm a senior here, first generation college student, from homelessness to prison to college. I'm going to graduate, get another degree in this May. I work with Project Rebound. Some ideas. Also, I'm doing a panel. You want to get a picture of this? Y'all all welcome to come. It's going to be April the 30th. Race relations. Okay. In being with CSUB, we need to put some light on the real issues of life. Because the deal is that we must know, the new president must know that diversity is real. What is CRT? What is DEI? You know what I'm saying? These things need to be put light on these new students that's coming forward, so they're gonna face them in the real world. They can't just run and hide, you know what I mean? So it needs to be addressed. Women's rights, you know what I'm saying? And I'll leave y'all with this. Preparation meets opportunity equals success. Let's prepare these students for the future. Thank you for listening to me. I appreciate it. Have a blessed day.
Thank you. Well, first of all, I want to welcome all of the committee for being with us here at Cal State today, Chancellor Garcia, Trustee Fagan, and the entire committee. I know you've put out a lot of work to be here today. I want you, if you look around this room, I want you to, if you think about the diversity of this room and the kind of comments that have gone on, I want to reinforce all those comments. I also want to put a little emphasis on whoever the next president that you select, that is someone who, in a real serious sense, understands the history of this campus and the history of this region. This region is historically educationally underserved. It was among the last of the CSUs in a major populated area. The area, Kern County, is especially known for having the lowest college going rates, highest poverty rates. The entire region has that distinction. Our congressional district 20 has probably the highest poverty rates in the nation. But all of those are factors that lead to this campus. And by way of context, Dr. Tomas Martinez, Professor Emeritus, I will in fall enter my 40th year at Cal State. So I very much these days, I'm trying to get the word out about people understanding the context and history of the university. And what you see today is not the way it was when I arrived here 40 years ago. At that time, by way of comparison, the original two presidents and the faculty leadership at the time were very comfortable with, at that time, what was viewed that Cal State would be a small liberal arts college. A very nice vision, but inconsistent with this community and this region. And I will say that Dr. Arciniega, who served with us for 21 years, is really the foundation of transforming this campus into what it is today. Just by way of an example, when President Arciniega arrived, just the Latino student population alone on this campus was only 11%. Today, it's 68%. And the entire diversity of the campus, you've heard that today, the entire campus has become terrifically diverse. But it's large because Dr. Arciniega very intentionally set out on a transformation of the university to what was identified as a regional comprehensive university, opening it up in terms of academics, comprehensive programs, engineering, and everything else, and regional in that the largest proportion of students, if my stats are still correct, in the CSU, the campus region with the largest number of local students that attend this campus is among the highest in the system. And we have among the highest first-generation students. And so my only point then is that was a transformation intentional by Dr. Arciniega, who in the early 1980s arrived and began making clear, without open arms, the rest of the campus was stuck on this small liberal arts idea, very much said the campus has to change. It has to reorient itself towards this region, this population, and this community, and bring those individuals in. And we have to reorient every component of the campus to be able to do that. So he was responding to a demographic reality that was happening, but in a very revolutionary sense, an intentional effort at transforming the campus to be responsive to what was coming. Now, we see the progress today in terms of diversity, the kind of programs and student services and things that go on today, and we celebrate that, but we're a long way from where we need to be, and that needs to continue. So I urge the committee to think in terms of the history of this campus, and that kind of vision and transformation needs to continue. Thank you.
Hello, thank you for coming out and to listen to our comments. My name is Tiffany James. I am you guys can't hear me? Can you hear me now? Okay. Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming out to listen to our comments. My name is Tiffany James. I am a staff member and also a student here at Cal State Bakersfield. I'm coming to just make a comment to say that we believe, or I believe, that the next president should possess a couple of key points or qualities. I believe that this next president should come in with plans to actively promote diversity and create a campus environment that fosters inclusivity for students, faculty, and staff from all backgrounds. I believe we need someone who is committed to ensuring that our campus is a welcoming and supportive place for individuals of all races, ethnicities, genders, sexual orientations, or their abilities. I also believe that the candidate should implement strategies for professional development and growth of our faculty and staff already employed on campus. This gives us a sense of belonging here on campus when we are looked at as professionals and given a chance to actually develop and move on in a sense. Not only that, a lot of times our students is a black student here on campus, not my staff position, but a black student on campus, I do not feel like I belong here. As a staff member, I can say that I fit in a little bit and I get accepted by some of my peers. But as a student, no, I do not feel like I belong on this campus. I have been attacked by people that I thought were my friends or people who I confided in, and it just doesn't feel like a belonging sense here. The next president should come in knowing that we need someone that allows us to feel like we belong as students, staff, faculty, and whatever. If we come here on campus for an event to visit, we want to feel like we belong. We want to feel like we're a part of this school, not that we're just paying a tuition and then we're just getting the boot kicked and going on about our day. We want a president to come in and stand up for us, to speak and not just take pictures and look good on the camera. We want a president that wants to see us succeed, develop, and grow. And that's just straight from my heart. Thank you for being here.
Hello, my name is Manaya Valentine. I'm a current student intern for quality education and also a student leader on campus. I want to vocal on myself and behalf of many other students. I am a first-generation student. A lot of our first-generation students are coming here blindfoldedly, having no experience, having no guidance, and having no support because they're coming here on their own. We need to have a president that has attention and is inclusive and also knows the majority of our students that are first generation, and being able to develop that community and engagement, prioritizing our students. I know for myself as a student, the reason why I am able to engage and also pursue it and become an environmental lawyer is because I put myself out there. But a lot of our students feel isolated. We need to have a president that has a better sense of community for our students, that our students can be able to come to our president and have a welcoming face, but also an engagement with our students. We need our students to feel like they are a priority and not pushed aside, because our students are the reason why our institution is the way it is today, and we need to have a president that prioritizes that as a whole. I also want to vocalize that as a student leader on campus, that the president action has to match their words. It can't just be all talk. They can't be just saying to us that I will do all these things, but nothing is followed along. There's no attention towards it. We also do need to have inclusivity. We have to, as myself, I am a black student, and a lot of times in class, I'm the only black student. And so we need to also have attentive action being built to have engagement, that myself and behalf of many other black students don't feel isolated anymore. I also want them to prioritize our students' basic needs. We have students who don't have housing. We have students who need access to food on a day-to-day basis. Are they going to prioritize our students, making them sure that they have their basic needs met? I hope that our president does all those things and prioritize our students and our institution as a whole. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Leah Bank. I work here in the Student Recreation Center as the Senior Coordinator of Fitness and Wellness. I also get to interact with students as a kinesiology lecturer, and I am a student myself in the doctoral program here in educational leadership. A lot of people think of the rec center as just the rec center. However, on our campus, we have grown our programs outside of the walls of what we are doing here. In fact, the most recent president was involved in our programs, showed up and participated and became involved, really looking for someone who can also have those same qualities. I think as a campus, in the topic of wellness and well-being, we need to unify and integrate some of that into what we do as departments. So the rec center, counseling, health center, I know I'm not reading an exhaustive list. Basic needs was mentioned. In fact, we were all out on the student union patio at a carnival before this, telling students what we do here on campus. A few weeks ago, myself and our graduate student had the opportunity to travel to Long Beach for the inaugural CSU Be Well conference, and we were able to present about our new wellness suite here upstairs in the SRC. Other campuses and CSUs are looking at us as the role model, asking us how we are meeting students' basic needs, their essentials, as well as their self-care and well-being. Having a president who supports that in not only students, as well as staff and faculty, as has been mentioned as well. Human resources, they are, not me, getting involved in Blue Zones Bakersfield, which is an amazing opportunity that Blue Zones is here in our community, in town, working with restaurants, working with public transportation, and launching something for staff and faculty here on our campus. Being able to integrate that as a whole, we should not be separate as students, staff, and faculty, having somewhere where we can come and unify together without separating all of it out. I myself am not a person of color. I'm not a first-generation student, but I have integrated myself here on this campus and in the community since I moved here 8 years ago. I truly believe that as staff and faculty, we can't support students as well as we could if we're not supported ourselves. So knowing that we have a president who is involved in our programs across campus and being able to integrate the topics of well-being, not only into student affairs and extracurriculars, but into the academics, is going to help integrate this conversation of all the things that everyone is talking about today: equity, diversity, and inclusion, basic needs, counseling, mental health, financial needs, both on and off campus. So looking for a president who is going to include this in their next strategic plan, as well as with the rest of campus, and being able to see a follow through and creating action steps towards this. Thank you.
All right, hello everyone. My name is Chinazo KDK. I am an undergraduate student here at CSUB. I am also a current intern for Students for Quality Education, SQE, and the president of Sensational Sophomore Class of 2026. What I would like to see for the next president of CSUB is an individual that's for the students. One of the issues that we have here at CSUB is a lack of action. So I would like the search committee to choose a president that puts action behind their words. We no longer want empty promises. The next CSUB president should be the voice of our students, faculty, and staff, be transparent, inclusive, have the right allocation of resources and funding, and willing to do the work. At the end of the day, we want students to be proud of the institution that they invested in and want their generations to come forward. Thank you for your time.
Hello, thank you for allowing us to give our input to the committee. My name is Virginia Espino. I'm an alumni of CSUB. I'm originally from Delano. My family immigrated here in 1992, and Bakersfield is where I attended. So I think that our next president should take into account that a college experience is a transformative experience and not a transactional experience. If it wasn't for the college degree that I obtained here, I wouldn't be where I would be at, and I wouldn't be operating in the spaces that I do now, and I have become very comfortable in spaces that typically you do not see people like myself. English is my second language, and I want our next president to take into account the history that this community has and the movements that we have experienced in our area. I also want them to take into account the future challenges that our community will be experiencing with water scarcity, clean energy, maybe clean air. So I would also like to leave the board with one of your goals, which is to recognize and address regional needs and collaborating with our community. So I hope that you take into account for the next president, we should definitely be collaborating with the needs of our community. Thank you.
Hi again, one more and then I gotta go to class. So something that we really want the next president to focus on is mindset. The next president has to be future-minded. We can't always do what we've always done and get new results. This community, Kern as a whole, and this campus are at a point where we're on the precipice of making a dramatic change and going to the next level. That goes for everything on campus, inside the classroom, research, health and wellness, DEI initiatives. Everything is there on the verge that needs someone that's going to drive it to the next level. Kern County and CSUB is ready. We need a president that's not afraid to take risks and is willing to push it forward and find those relationships and build those networks that's going to make it happen. Like many students have spoken about, someone that's going to take the initiative and take action, not just speak about it. Build relationships that are going to be long-lasting. They're going to build up CSUB and everything that we do moving forward. Not just year-long relationships, not just year-long initiatives, but something that's going to be long-lasting, a strong foundation, whether that's in business, research, academics, how the buildings are going up. There are community partners that are ready to work with us if we're willing to put ourselves out there. The next president has to be willing to take those risks. Thank you.
Good afternoon, committee members. My name is Justin Salters. I'm a first-generation alumnus of CSU Bakersfield, past president of the Alumni Association. I'm really proud to be a runner. I enjoy running through the campus every weekend. It's on my route. And one of the things I was remarking on is I remember when, as a student during President Mitchell's tenure, seeing how much the university grew, and he announced his retirement. And a lot of us who had seen that transformation were left wondering, what's the future going to be? Where is our university going to continue to grow? And so seeing how President Zelezny's tenure led to even more growth and prominence of the university across the region is promising, because it's the result of the committee and the work that you do. So I just want to thank you for the time and investment made, and have confidence that this process is going to get us the right president for our university. And that said, in addition to my role as an entrepreneur, I also currently lead a B3K Prosperity, which is our region's inclusive economic development initiative. And when I look at that, one of the things that's critical is that the next president, it's imperative for them to recognize the role that CSUB plays as a catalyst for economic development for the entire region. And when I say entire region, talking about both Western Kern and the Valley portion, and also the Antelope Valley and Eastern Kern, which are part of the university's service area. The part of that is providing the workforce, developing partnerships with industry so that we're actually graduating students who have the skills necessary to be competent employees, but it's also going beyond that and recognizing the gaps in our regional economic ecosystem and the way that the university, as one of our true anchor institutions, can play to fill those. Looking at how we bridge innovation, how we go ahead and adapt and really drive new opportunity industries and opportunities forward. So I look forward to seeing how the process continues. This is an incredibly important institution to many of us who call Bakersfield and Kern County home, but also to the future and prosperity of every person that lives here. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Adams. I'm the Dean of the Antelope Valley campus, and I feel like Justin just teed me up just right there. I wanted to make sure that the board and search committee were aware that we do have another campus in Lancaster in northern Los Angeles County, and that region is as underserved as Kern County is. The college going rate in Antelope Valley is about what it is in Kern County and half of what it is in the rest of Los Angeles County. We are underserving that region, which is inclusive of both the AV and Eastern Kern. And so I think that the new president, and I'm not biased or anything, but I think that the new president needs to come in with a commitment to serve the entire region and focus on how we can grow the AV programs and serve that region better than we do right now. Thank you.
AV has the following. So my name is John Tarjan. I'm a faculty member in the Department of Management and Marketing. And I want to start out by thanking the members of the Advisory Committee, and in particular, the member of the Trustees Selection Committee. We have a student representative who's taking time away from his studies. We have several members of the board who are taking time away from family and even careers. I don't think people outside of the board know the sacrifices that these people make. I would talk about the $100 a day they get for, but thank you very much for your service. So I've seen a lot of academic leaders come and go on campus as well as system level, and been on more search committees at both levels than I think I can remember. And there are 4 characteristics that I think, in addition to the things that people have said already, this is a complimentary list, but 4 characteristics that I think make or break most academic leaders. And if they possess these 4 qualities, I believe they're almost overwhelmingly likely to be successful, and if they're unsuccessful, they lack 1 or more of the 4. So the 4 are hardworking, might be taken for granted, but it's not always the case, intelligent, having integrity, and that can be defined by many ways by different people, but to be honest, to be fair, and to be true to their guiding values. And lastly, and I was glad somebody else mentioned it, to be kind. There are also 4 challenges that I'd like to highlight that I think, and this is for the candidates that are looking in, that may be somewhat unique to CSUB. We're a mid-sized and middle-aged campus by national standards. Our policy development is lacking. We are not as formal as some of our brother or sister campuses, whatever we can say these days, and we need some work there, and to have more coordination and communication mechanisms across divisions. I don't believe they're sufficient to help manage a middle-sized campus. And echoing Dean Adams, we have the challenge of providing a quality education for the people in the Antelope Valley without center funding. We've gone back and forth on this, but that's an extreme challenge. And how does the president balance the needs of Kern County with the needs of the Antelope Valley when the state has not stepped up to provide support for the students in the Antelope Valley? We also need to balance our athletics budget with other campus priorities. It's been a few years now, about 25, but there was a columnist in the LA Times that said Cal State Bakersfield has perhaps the most successful athletics program in the country. In the country, number 1. And we did so on a modest budget. Moving to Division I has caused some issues and difficulties. I don't know if you know this, but we spend, according to NCAA figures, we spend a higher percentage of our budget on athletics than any other member of the Big West Conference. What's shocking to me is we spend a higher percentage of our both overall and stateside budget on athletics than any CSU campus, even those with football teams. Let that sink in a second. The 4th one is, while our campus has been a tremendous engine for regional economic development and social mobility, and we've been recognized many times, we've had some great local supporters who have stepped up and helped us to do the things, to have the resources to do the things we need to do to serve this community. However, it's my belief we have lagged behind the other colleges and universities in our immediate and extended area in terms of transformational gift development. There are many opportunities here, but I think those 4 challenges are the ones that are going to be the most thorny for the incoming president. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Eric Lord. I work as a counselor here in the Counseling Center. And so I'm just here to speak on mental health and the importance of working with the whole student. What we do in the Counseling Center is not just mental health with depression, anxiety, and all the others. It's to work with relationships. It's to work with families and friends and everybody else that's involved in the students' lives. And Leah said it earlier as far as the wellness and the opportunity that we have for our students to really think outside the box and provide the care we need for our students to get them to graduation. The students think it's in their best interest to graduate, which it is. It's also in our best interest for them to graduate, or to move to a place where they are fulfilled and fulfilling their personal dreams, or moving to the next thing that's going to get them there. So when looking for a president, I just implore you to seek those that care about mental health, that appreciate what we do and appreciate the courage that it takes for students to walk into our office as we see that for them, right? And And I've had the ability or the honor, I guess, of working under the last few presidents here, including our current interim president, for the last 11 years, all of which voiced a concern and care for our students' mental health and the whole student. And so with that, I would just like you to think about that and working with us. We all have to think outside the box very often. I think a lot of people in this room are having to do that in their jobs, right? The next president needs to do the same, and we appreciate that. Thank you.
Well, good afternoon. I hope those that are new here to Bakersfield, I hope you are enjoying your time here at the home of the Roadrunners. I am Natasha Harris, Director of Special Programs and Retention Initiatives here at CSUB, which means I'm the Director of the Excel Scholars Program, which is our Men of Color initiative, our Project Rebound program, our formerly incarcerated students, and advisor to our Black women on campus right now. When I think of our next president, I would like to see someone that is forward-thinking, willing to push the boundaries, and willing to lead to change in the CSU. It's time that we cross that 10,000, 12,000 threshold. Someone who is unapologetic and direct, like Dr. Parham, who has been very direct and supportive in supporting the Black student success on his campus. Like Dr. Wood, who is creating and programming and is unapologetic about it. It is what it is, and you will accept it or move on. Someone that is willing to meet our students and their families where they are. Someone that is truly willing to engage, support, and have conversations with our faculty and our staff here on this campus. Someone that is willing to support us, listen to us, and empower us. I truly believe that they must be involved in our programming, our mental health, financial, looking for things like that. I want someone who's willing to cross the boundaries and go into our community. CSUB, this is our university. This is Bakersfield. This is Kern County. This is the Valley's University. And we need someone to go out. Someone that's willing to not go past Union. Go into East Bakersfield. Go into Delano. Go into McFarland. We often think it stops there. Someone that's willing not to spend all their time in the country club and at the Rotary Club meetings, but you are willing to engage in our community, support our students, no matter what it is. I am here. I've been here 18 years and still counting. And I believe in our students, each and every one of them, and more than anything, my colleagues. They are the best. We are the best, and we deserve the best. And I hope that as you search, you will give CSUB the next best president.
I have to follow that. Thanks, Natasha. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jason Watkins. I serve as the Director of Basic Needs. And I'll keep it brief. We're in the middle of a CalFresh Carnival today. Thank you to many of you for coming. But I want to echo the sentiments that so many of our students have already put so well, the need and the importance of basic needs. But particularly when we talk about basic needs, I hope our next president is really looking at this issue of affordable housing. This continues to be an issue at the state level and even here locally now. I recently worked with a student who found himself in a housing crisis and was living in his car. And as we were talking through that, he said something that really jumped out at me. He said, it was known in their friend group that when you buy a car, buy something a little nicer because you very well might be living in it, right? That was the common sentiment. And I don't think that story stands alone for our students. And so my hope in our next president is we have an advocate, not only on campus, but in the community to address affordable housing. I thank our current campus leadership, the Chancellor's office for your support, and I just look forward to doing this work together. Thank you.
Oh, I don't have to move it. I'm this short anyways. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Eric Ramirez. I graduated here from CSUB with my bachelor's in psychology a few years ago, and I'm a current graduate student here at CSUB. I'm really excited. I'm about to graduate in a few weeks, and as I'm graduating, my little sister is coming next semester. So I'm really excited about that. I feel like CSUB is going to be a tradition for my family. My sister, maybe even our kids are going to be coming here. And because of that, I want the next president to really focus on education as well as supporting us after our graduation. I've talked to a lot of students who don't really know what they're gonna do once they graduate, and I really wanna set them up for success. one of my key moments here at CSUB is when I was doing research. And I did research with a professor here, Dr. Gankarsh, and I really want to continue that for other students. I want a president who focuses on education and research opportunities. That way, many students can have actual experience once they go into the career force. That's my time. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Janet Lascano, ASI Director of Diversity and Inclusion. ASI collected feedback on this search, and I'm sharing with you all suggestions gathered. Students would like to see the next CSUB president have rich cultural competency, not just a person that commits, but has actual experience or invested in learning different cultural backgrounds. Being the Director of Diversity and Inclusion myself, I also think that it is important for that to be something important for you guys as well in your search. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Darius Riggins, Director of Student Access and Support. Thank you all for the time that you're making to find us a university president. I've worked for the California State University system for over 20 years, served at 5 different Cal States. The one thing that I can say of all the university presidents I've been under, the ones that were regarded as the good presidents, the better presidents, the ones that people remember and recognize, even the ones that you hear about from other campuses, there's one thing that I could say that's been consistent, one interesting characteristic. They all made themselves accessible to the students, regardless of the other stuff. My sister Natasha talked about the Rotary Club meetings and dealing with the faculty and all the other stuff that comes with a president. The ones that made the most effect were the ones that made themselves accessible to students. And what that meant was, when that accessibility was taking place, that opportunity for exchange, and then that president's ability to respond to what the students were talking about and what their concerns were. So all the students that came up here and talked about all the issues that they're going through, the only way a university president is going to be able to address those concerns is to be able to open up the doors to the office, to meetings, be accessible to the students, and respond to what those students are saying. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Thank you all so much for being here. My name is Traco Matthews. I am the Chief Health Equity Officer at Kern Health Systems, the local managed care plan. Also governor appointee to the California Racial Equity Commission, and a local pastor here in Bakersfield. Honored to share just a few words from my perspective on what I'd love to see in the next CSUB president. So coming from the community, also being a professor here at CSUB, adjunct from time to time, folks have spoken to it. I think Natasha spoke to it, Darius just spoke to it as well, but I truly believe the connection, the access, all of those things fall under the umbrella. We need a president who will make students feel a sense of belonging. If they feel a sense of belonging, the DEIB, all of that is under that same domain. If they feel a sense of belonging, we're likely to attract more, retain more, and they're going to perform better. And so we need someone who has that strong, unwavering perspective and commitment to making sure that all of the students here at CSUB feel a strong sense of belonging. The next thing that I would say is this. I believe that connection is the key to success and the trust that this next president will have to engender, not just in the students, but also in the faculty and in the community as well, speaking from that perspective. Trust is a function, as Darius just said, of showing up, being there, being accessible, being transparent, but also having lived experience. I can't remember who said it, but when you've gone through the same things and then you speak from that reservoir of experiences, it makes such a huge difference to students, it makes such a huge difference to faculty. And so those connections, I think, are going to be incredibly important. I know that I probably am not supposed to do this, but I'm going to end just by saying, I think you have a really great candidate right now in seat who brings some of those qualifications and characteristics to the table. They're connected. accessible, and I think could be a really great long-term permanent president for this role. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, committee. My name is Rhonda Dugan. I am an associate professor in sociology. And listening to everyone's comments as a qualitative researcher, I'm thinking, what's the big picture here? All these little pieces in terms of diversity, equity, belonging. From my perspective, I think we need a president who has a vision and is able to articulate that vision again and again and again. In my observations, and I'll speak for myself, there's a term in sociology that's called, a French term called anomie, and it means a sense of normlessness. And I think right now we are in, from my perspective, a sense of normlessness in terms of, and it's not to belittle those who are doing interim positions, but we're in a weird state of flux that I've never seen before in my 19 years here at the university. And I think a lot of people seem lost. I'm looking for a president who's able to communicate the good news and the bad. Sometimes bad things are happening, and I mean that in a vague way, but bad things are happening and you find out after the fact, or not knowing that information makes people feel insecure, disconnected, that sense of anomie. So I hope that you are seeking candidates who are able to bring together a campus that feels very broken right now. And I'll speak for myself as faculty, but I know other faculty, and I'm going to stay in my lane, but I suspect there are staff and students who feel the same way too. And I'm also looking for a president, while it's good to respond to issues that are happening, I want a president that's proactive, where you don't have to wait for something bad to happen in order to address it. If we address the issues ahead of time, you don't have to worry about sharing the bad news. So in terms of what I would like to see is what's a vision that encapsulates everything that has been expressed here today. So thank you for your time and being part of the committee.
So if we could just hold off 1 second. There's one person on Zoom who we want to hear from, and then we'll go back to our in-person speakers. And of course, after the person speaking in person, hopefully others who haven't said anything, or even those who have, will then join us and say more. So just because the line's diminished, don't give up. So let's hear from the person on Zoom.
Vincent Rosso, go ahead. Thank you. Good afternoon, trustees, Chancellor Garcia, and committee members. Thank you for hosting this forum, and to every member of the community who spoke today, thank you for sharing your incredibly important perspectives on the issues and opportunities for the next president of Cal State Bakersfield. My name is Vincent Rosso, and on behalf of the Campaign for College Opportunity, we would like to elevate traits and characteristics we believe the next leader of CSUB should possess to best serve this community. We share our gratitude to President Zelezny for her years of service and offer thanks to Interim President Harper for his leadership during this time. 4 out of 5 Bakersfield students come from minoritized communities, and 70% of undergraduates are Latinx. So it is imperative the next president be committed to centering the diverse students of CSUB and be ready to cultivate an inclusive, student-centered environment. We believe the next president should have deep roots in the Central Valley and an understanding of the unique needs of the region, both rural and urban, to effectively serve and support students from all backgrounds. They should also have a commitment to racial equity and a record of implementing data-driven policies to center equity in student access and completion, as well as diverse faculty representation, especially to increase opportunities for minoritized communities. They should also be committed to working with stakeholder groups across the region, including students, K-12 and community college partners, and our business and community leaders, as well as having a vision for bringing CSU Bakersfield to the forefront of student-centered practices, such as prioritizing transfer pathways for Central Valley Community College students to get a 4-year degree and empowering them to pursue their college and career goals. We're optimistic that the president you select will transform Cal State Bakersfield and continue to advance racial equity and increase student success. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Let's go back to in person.
Hi, my name is Karen Ziegler Lopez. I'm an academic advisor in the School of Social Sciences and Education. I think what I would love to see in a new president is somebody who doesn't shy away from our morale issues. I think where staff is concerned, we're really struggling with morale. We've been asked to do more with less for a very, very long time, and passion has kind of kept the drive going. But I think, as Natasha pointed out, we work very, very hard, and I think we are the best and want the best. Our students need the best. So I know that from a staffing standpoint, I think we're really struggling with morale issues. I've been here for most of 20 years. The struggle is real. I mean, I've never seen so many academic advisors tapped out all at once. There was a time where we could kind of pull each other out of it, but I'm not sure we're there anymore. I think that ship might have sailed, and well, it'll be interesting to see what kind of turnover we might be looking at in the future. My guess is other staffing departments are dealing with that. My guess is the faculty are probably dealing with that. I don't know how that looks for them. But I hope that we have a new president who will understand how to address morale issues. I think can hopefully put some action behind that and understand how to even engage with us at some level. And allow us to continue to be our best for our students and help to drive their goals. Thank you.
So, as I mentioned, let's not stop. There's nobody waiting. Anybody would like to come up and say something again? We're here. I knew I could talk somebody into it.
It's an unusual position for the EOP director to come up and talk about diversity issues when everyone already talked about it. Obviously, it's a concern for our university. My name's Steve Walsh. I'm the EOP director. I'm just finishing my 25th year in EOP. It's been my entire life. I've been in EOP since 1991, and I've been at this campus. I now have the responsibility of making sure this campus gets a great president because my son is here attending CSUB also. We're celebrating our 55th year of EOP in the state of California. In our 50th, Honorable President Thomas Parham was our keynote speaker. We really hope that some of you join us at our 55th celebration in Sonoma this fall. But EOP, I bring this history up because EOP continues to be relevant and important. The Educational Opportunity Program is an integrated part of the CSU application. 25% of our applicants for fall 2024 are filling out an EOP application. We're integrated into the financial aid system. We're integrated in the admission system, the student support system. We run our summer transitional program called Summer Bridge. So what we were looking for statewide in EOP and what I'm looking for in a president here at CSU Bakersfield is a president who recognizes the rich history of EOP and doesn't just try to recreate it under some new name. The system is there, the application is there, the program is there, the wonderful dedicated staff are all working every day to support our students. About 740 students on this campus are EOP currently. And we really want a president who will continue to support our program and the diversity of the campus. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Tamara Anthony. I am Department Coordinator for the Philosophy and Religious Studies Department, as well as co-chair for the Black Faculty and Staff Association. I'm going to ditto my sister, Natasha Harris over there, and as well as Manaya and Chinazo. Thank you for speaking up. As of yesterday, I had a student in my office who said who wanted a transfer out of this university because she did not feel like she belonged at this campus. We talk about belonging, but we need to identify what that means. And we also need the support because we have a handful of people here as it relates to the Black Faculty and Staff Association that are creating this belonging. But how do you support us? Okay? So we need more support for faculty and staff as it pertains to creating this belonging. What that is we're working on hopefully a center for the Black student success. We ask that you continue to push that, as well as we advocate for a center for the Black student success. It does not exclude other students. We are also passionate about serving other students as well. So I want that to be very clear, okay? We thank you for the time that you have, and just consider what my sister Tasha said, be bold and be intentional about supporting. I'm going to speak up for the Black students right now. Thank you.
I'm short, sorry, let me bring it down. My name is Erica Delamar. I'm the interim director of the Student Health Services on campus. I'm going to echo what some of the others said in terms of looking at our student population, a president who would look at it holistically, understanding that there are things outside of the classroom that impact the learning in it, and that we're investing in those programs and really kind of taking a look at that. I say COVID definitely taught us that, right? But really looking at that. And then the second part I will add is, like Steve, who just mentioned, my child goes here, she's a junior, so I'll talk as a parent. And I think the next president, having an understanding that my daughter was valedictorian, and people said, why are you going to CSUB? And I think having an understanding that CSUB is the first choice for students. My daughter has had so many opportunities here, from research to work to going to conferences, and just a lot of opportunities, and seeing her grow. So somebody who will step out and say CSUB is the choice to go to in terms of the campus. Thanks.
Hello. Hello. Oh my God, this is loud. Hi, my name is Ludy Ortega, and I am a student here at CSUB. I am in the graduate program for Public Administration and Policy. Oh my God, I wish I had some water. So, any Brians in the house by any chance? Anyone named Brian? What a shame, because today is National Brian Day. And I was gonna wish you guys happy National Brian Day. Could have been your moment. But in all seriousness, what I'm looking for in our next president is really someone that knows how to work with what they have. I know that's not something we can like tell right away. In one of my MPA classes this semester, I had to do a case study where I had to, my department had budget cuts, and I had to learn how to keep my organization working and thriving despite having to have budget cuts. And it's hard, like you don't realize how much thought and effort goes in, you know, CSUs, I know don't get a lot of money. Sorry. Someone once told me here, when I was deciding what to do with my education, they said, if you're looking to make money, don't go into higher education. So it's not a bad thing. Well, the reason why I'm saying that or quoting that person is because what I'm hoping for in our next president is someone that's here not for the money, but for the students. That's it. Thank you.
Hello, my name's Mark Martinez, and I'm a professor. I've been here for 30 years. And a couple of things that stick out as I think on the concept of retiring is, you know, what is it that has stood out for me as a professor here for 30 years? And it's there's several of them, but among them has been the faculty and especially the presidents that are invested in this region, those that know about not just Kern County and Bakersfield, but the entire region. I was born in Tulare. My brother was born in Corcoran. Another brother was born in Porterville. And you start thinking about the region as a whole, and you see a larger mosaic about Bakersfield and especially Cal State University Bakersfield. And so when I think about the future, and especially a future president at CSUB, what I'd like us to do is find someone who's going to demonstrate, if they already don't have, a vested interest in not only Cal State University Bakersfield, but in the region. Because if we look at the history here, it gives us an understanding of where Bakersfield's been and where we're heading in the future. And the more I look at our region and I see the dynamics and the challenges that we have, it's very clear that the person who is going to be the next CSUB president has to understand our past, our region, the specific communities, not just flying right through Corcoran or Tulare, but stopping and having dinner and saying, hey, I recommend this restaurant, I recommend this restaurant. And so what I think about as a future CSU president, when I think about the next CSU president, I want somebody who has a vested interest in not just being the president of CSUB, but in getting to know our regions and perhaps even staying here after they've retired. And so that's one part of what I'm looking at as a future CSUB president. The other part that I'm looking at has to be someone who's forward-looking, somebody who's looking towards the future. And one of the things that I've seen since I've gotten here, and I got here when I think there was 4,800 students, we are now at this pace and at this point where we can start thinking of developing a multicultural center, where whether it's Black Student Union and whatever we're looking at, we need to start thinking about raising funds for a multicultural center that becomes a one-stop shop center for anybody looking for information on financial aid, admissions, classes, schools, professors, where they can just stop and say, I'd like to get information. And my idea here is that we have people that are working this place that are multicultural, multilingual, not just Spanish speakers, but we have people here who can welcome, as we know, we have large Indian community, we have large Latino community, we have people from all over the world, and if they know that there is a center here on campus where we have people who speak various languages, not just Spanish. So I think when we start thinking about the future, we want not only somebody who understands our past in the region and can direct us to restaurants here and there, but somebody who can look towards the future and say, California State University, Bakersfield is going to need this, this, and this in the future. And the educational stuff, I think, I have wonderful colleagues. I think that's going to take care of itself. But I think if we have people who understand our past and as well as looking towards the future, I think we're going to do well.
Thank you all for taking the time to be here today. I'm Alicia Rodriguez. I am a 25-year faculty member here at CSUB, and I'm currently serving as the acting dean of the School of Arts and Humanities. I want to also say that born and raised in Bakersfield, did my undergraduate work here. I'm not only a first-generation college graduate, but a first-generation high school graduate. So I know the power that CSUB has to change lives. I've lived that experience. So many people this afternoon have made really wonderful observations about what we need in our next president. Someone who is devoted to diversity, inclusiveness, really listening and being part of the community. Really being part of the community. Knowing, as so many others have said today, the past, having an eye on the future as well. One of the things that is so discouraging to me that I hope is on the radar of the next president is when I go to budget meetings and I learn that just to repair the things that are classified as deferred maintenance, just to repair those things, it will take 80 years. And that's if nothing else breaks or needs to be repaired. Also, in my short time in this acting position, I've started conversations about things that A&H can do. Mariachi, something long overdue on this campus. Folklorico ballet, also long overdue. But right now, I'm reaching out, in the process of reaching out, been talking with different departments, not only funds, but just space to store instruments. If we want instruments for mariachi ensemble, we need more space. And when I look at our Doré Theater, it was built when we had 3,000 students. We now have about 10,000. The Doré Theater is in poor repair. Last weekend, or weekend before, when it rained a lot, went to see performances by students. Senior projects are in one-act plays. And got there at 7:30. The 2 p.m. Well, maybe it was 2 p.m. But it got to the theater and was told we had to move some things around because of the rain. It was raining on the set. Some of the leaks in the roof, and they had buckets and had to make some changes into how the students could change the scenes because of the rain coming in and the buckets that they had to set up. So what I would really like, among other things, is to see a president who will advocate for things like a performing arts center to fit the size of the university we are today and beyond, something that can house multiple programs. This is going to take a lot of work, and a president can't do this alone, but by reaching out, and I think my colleague John Tarjan mentioned public-private partnerships. That's what it's going to take to address the space needs, to give us a theater, a performing arts center that allows a growth vision to go forward. I'm a proud graduate of Bakersfield High School downtown, which I always like to point out, where Earl Warren graduated from when it was Kern County High School before he went up and onward. And the theater at that high school, 2,000 seats, main theater, classrooms, and smaller theaters would really be the envy of a lot of places in Bakersfield. I know they don't build them like they used to build the Harvey, but I would really like to see a performing arts center to help better serve our students, help us better engage with the community. And so again, so many things. I know the president's going to have a huge list of what we want, but I hope our next president will have that eye on growth and surveying the needs of the campus, because if we can build our facilities out, that's going to be better for our community relationships as well, and better serve the region. Thank you.
Hello. Hello, everyone. My name is Rebecca Castro, and I am here to speak for the community of Kern County, the rural communities. I didn't get their permission to speak, but I have worked with the different communities, and I would like to ask you all to consider some of these points when seeking a new president. I think we need someone who is going to bring in more Black students on our campus, and someone who is also going to create successful programs for these Black students. Right now, I can only recall one Black student that I have in all of my 4 classes here at CSUB. And I remember what that was like when I was in high school here in Bakersfield. I went to Liberty High School. And I remember what it was like to be one of the only 1 to 2 Latinas in the classroom. And it's no fun if you've ever been that person. And so yes, please make more space on campus for Black students. And I have also gone to other universities, visited the campuses. I didn't do my undergrad or graduate school here. I went to UCLA and San Francisco State. And at San Francisco State, they have a cultural center. I think it's called the Cesar Chavez, can't remember exactly the name, but the Cesar Chavez Center. And in there, they house different cultural programs. They even have, for example, the Richard Oakes Multicultural Library. And I think that's something that we can have on this campus, right? That's something we can look forward to. I heard someone else mention that earlier, is creating a actual community space here for cultural programming. And I think we really desperately need that here on campus. I know we have the Magic Center right now, but I'm not very happy with what that looks like. It could be so much better, and I think we really need that. I know I've worked with students here on campus who come from our rural communities, and they think CSUB is the greatest, but to be honest, I feel a little bad for them because, again, I've been to other campuses, and they haven't been to those campuses, and they don't see how much better we could actually be. So I do think they deserve better. I don't think they deserve what we have right now. They deserve more. Because a lot of us here are first generation students, and I think that's just one of the many reasons why we deserve better. Trying to remember my other points. I'm just speaking from my heart right now. Not only do I think we should have more Black students on campus, but I think we should also focus on recruiting more Native American, Indigenous students here on campus. So our Black and Indigenous students, I think we need to increase their representation here and also have programs for their continued success. And then for our Latino students, who we know we have a large population, I think we need to also continue creating programs for success for them and helping them out because, again, a lot of us are first-generation students, and we do need that support. And that's pretty much all I have. Thank you.
Good afternoon again. Another San Francisco State alumni. I love my alma mater, San Francisco State. Yes. Just a brief comment. It hasn't mentioned before. And going back to my idea of it's time for a change. It's time for a change to fix the brokenness that my colleague mentioned. And specifically, we know there are challenging years ahead for the CSU, but the CSUB. Online courses, artificial intelligence. So besides the next president having the vision, as my colleagues and other members mentioned, it's got to be somebody who is ready to take CSUB and also contribute to the CSU to those challenges ahead that you already know, with the changes with online courses and also with artificial intelligence. So we're at a position, we're at a time that definitely we need somebody who is going to think out of the box to really take us into the continuation of the 21st century. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jian Dong. I'm the Dean of the School of Natural Sciences, Mathematics, and Engineering here at CSUB. And thank you so much for the committee, for our Chancellor, providing this opportunity to listen to the opinion of all the stakeholders. Actually, as one of the listeners here, I feel inspired because I hear so many comments to our next president, but this also speaks for the hope of the campus community and of our regional partners to the future of CSU Bakersfield. I have been here for 2 years right now, so I moved from another CSU campus. I have been in the CSU system for 22 years. So for the very short time I have been here, I come to appreciate how great this community is and how unique CSU Bakersfield is to the Kern County, because we are the only four-year institution, public school here to serve the local resident. We really need to be the best, okay? Because as many of the people said, our students deserve the best. So we serve a lot of first-generation students, from low-income families. We are here to provide that educational access and opportunity for them to grow and for the student to reach their full potential. So it's important our next president is a forward-thinking leader that to basically collaborate with the regional partners, with all the campus community, our wonderful faculty and staff members to create the opportunities, building partnership, and bring additional opportunities to basically make the education, to basically make the education was the world-class education for our students here. So of course, there's a lot of challenges, as people mentioned. The facilities is certainly a challenge with the deferred maintenance, as for the STEM education and nursing public health programs, the laboratory is very critical for the student success. And so in a way, we would hope the next president will be open to have creative solutions, building new partnership, leverage the support from our community partners, our local industry, to elevate our facilities and bring internships and other education opportunities to support our students. By the way, we have built great partnership with Lawrence Livermore National Lab, and we certainly hope to extend those collaboration and bring additional opportunity for our students. So that's really is something more focused on the STEM education and nursing. I also want to echo many people's focus on building an inclusive and collaborative and supportive community here at CSU Bakersfield. So that's, I think that's everybody really need, and also focus on expanding our collaboration with the local community. Really someone deeply rooted in the local community who deeply understand the needs of the community, and the CSU Bakersfield will be a great leader for us. Okay, thank you.
Hello and good afternoon again. I just wanted to kind of leave you guys with one more brief comment before I have to go to track practice. So if we all look at the 2024 fact book for CSUB, we can see that it states American Indian and Alaskan Native are 0.3% here at CSUB. That's 30. I can probably count the 30 that we have here, and I know them personally. And so just to kind of echo and emphasize what people have already been saying, I do believe that it is important to have the representation and the diversity here on campus. And so far, I do think that we have been doing well. However, I know that, like with anything, there's always room for improvement. I also want to emphasize the fact that we did mention the Magic Center. If you are unaware of what that is, that stands for our Multicultural Alliance and Gender Equity Center. So I believe to help pinpoint diversity and really bring it here on campus, it would be to emphasize that center and really build it even more than it already is. I also wanted to emphasize one last time that we do have Native and Indigenous tribes nearby around campus. Think of our Yokuts or our Shumash or even our Tabatolotl tribe around campus. So really emphasizing that network and creating that connection is really vital. So this way, when students like myself go to these classrooms, I'm not the only one in that class, and I can share my experience to have other students that have the same representation as me. I also wanted to state that for ASI, we also did, like you've heard before, we did take suggestions from students at a different forum. And one of the comments that they had made is also, I know we mentioned we have Porterville, we have a couple of other nearby spots as well, and students come from those places here to Bakersfield. And so really helping advocate and build for transportation is really important and is really needed. We have our Get bus. I don't know if you've guys seen it. It's out there at the big red circle by the red brick road. those buses aren't always, they're not in service for long periods of time. So a lot of times we have nighttime students, like myself. My last class ends at 9:45 p.m. There are no buses. So I think it'd be really important to try and advocate and build that connection with our local bus programs that we have here in Bakersfield to really get that connection also with Kern Transit, not just GetBus as well, to try and make sure that transportation is available so this way education is more accessible for us. So thank you, and I hope you guys take in what everyone said, and have a nice day.
Well, I almost want to say, let the church say amen. Thank you so much to our distinguished trustees. Welcome to Bakersfield. What a privilege and what an honor to speak before you. 1 out of every 8 Americans now live in California. We are 12% of the nation's population. And you have a candidate in front of you that could be anywhere in California with the 40 million people, but has decided to come here to Kern County. And why is Kern County so important? Because this institution here at Cal State Bakersfield has always served as a catalyst to move families from poverty to prosperity. Some of the families are the first to go to college, changing the trajectory of their family lineage. My grandmother once said that your education is your license to compete. And T and I here, we are represent, of course, members of the African-American community and some of the pastors, and I'm not a pastor, but some of the African-American community members, because we believe that it's important. They often say that you can't be what you don't see. And most folks are often expected to play a role that they never see anybody play. You have a candidate in front of you who checks those boxes, because not just for our African-American students who have absent fathers, but to our Hispanic students who have absent fathers, and to our Sikh students who have absent fathers, and to our white students that have absent fathers. You have a candidate before you who has worked with the community, who's worked with CBO, community-based organizations, to bring everybody and make everyone feel included. And that's important in your next president and who you pick. And one of the things that we are super excited about is supporting this candidate, because you've had some exceptional presidents here on campus, and but this particular candidate that you have in front of you has been a bridge. The thing that we hate the most is that there are organizations that just partner with you on paper, but true partnership comes with real resources. And you have a candidate in front of you who checks the box, who understands that resources are what's going to take. Resources are what it's going to take to help bring this community, to bridge it together. We have some of the African Americans in our community have some of the lowest test scores. Our African American young men are not performing at levels. And it's just not our African American students, but it's our Hispanic students, it's some of our white students, and it's as well as some of our Indian students. You have a president who understands that, who is ready to roll up his sleeves and go to work, and they have been doing that, and I hope that you make the right selection.
Thank you guys for coming. I'm Brother Brooks, Cedric. I'm back. To piggyback on what the brother said earlier, you know, I come from the South, New Orleans. A lot of people know that. Here's the deal. When you, like, for example, I'm only African-American in all of my classes, black men, period. And it's like, when I first came to college, I was like confused and lost, afraid, intimidated. Cause look, I'm a minority within a minority in another minority. And what I want to do is open the gate up and put light on people like myself, so they can come to college. So I was done with the academic probation. Now I make straight A's because my mind was woken up to who I really am. You know what I'm saying? I learned the knowledge. I appreciate the education, who I really am. You know what I'm saying? Even though the bias, the racism, but I learned how to subvert that, how to turn a negative into a positive, as they say, how to make lemonade out of lemon. You know what I'm saying? We got to learn how to do that. As W.B. Du Bois said, we got to do what we call dual consciousness. You know what I'm saying? We have to learn how to do that as African Americans. And I'm gonna leave you guys with this right here. I'm doing a race relations event. It's gonna be on April the 30th. All you guys invited, okay? Come. Because the deal is that racism don't just happen to African Americans. Racism affects all of us. Regardless, these students that leaving here, how racism affect your employment, how racism affect your money, how racism affect your housing. See what I'm saying? We need answers to these because students need to know what's going on. Because we don't want no violence. I don't want nobody getting knocked in the head. You see on the news, you got racism and Trumpism, all this kind of craziness. Because people don't understand, they're confused, they lost, they're going by her. No, come to the event, get educated. Education, right? The sense of power, right? Get educated, know what's really going on. So when people ask you a question, you won't feel intimidated. Well, I don't want to, face the music. Face it. Don't be afraid. Embrace it. Embrace the change. Because somebody change don't mean it's bad. Just because you like blue shoes don't mean I wear red shoes, I'm mad. You know what I mean? We all have individualities. And we all have more in common than we do apart. So let's embrace DEI. Let's embrace women's rights. Let's embrace what real racism is. What is erotic capital, new racism? Does cultural racism affect me? Yes, it does. It affects all of us. Just look around, people. We all know what's going on. Let's take our head out of the sand and embrace it so we can be the college that we can supposed to be. When people look at Bakersfield and say, wow, CSU got it going on. Not only intellectually, but they got diversity, they got love, they got genuine care for a human being. Because no matter what gender, sex, nationality, or race you are a human being. And women's rights are human rights. Thank you. Let me share. I appreciate it. Y'all have a blessed day. Goodbye.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Lori Blodorn. I'm the Associate Vice President and Chief HR Officer here at Cal State Bakersfield. I'm also a first-generation college student from a low-income family. And I'm also a mother of 2 college students, both of whom deal with mental health challenges, as well as 1 child who identifies as part of the LGBTQ community. And so you've heard a lot from our community already about the challenges we face, right? And it's a challenge that we see across our system and across our country. And so the question is, how do we get there, and how does the next president help us get there? And I think the only way to do that is if we have a candidate who truly is willing to engage authentically and genuinely with our campus community, with all aspects of our campus community. And it also needs to be someone, as someone else mentioned, someone willing to be bold and unapologetic in their commitment to getting us where we need to go. We will have financial challenges. We have systemic challenges as a system and as a campus. And so I think when we look at the qualities of what our next president needs to have, it needs to be really someone that cares, is genuine, authentically engages with our campus community, and someone willing to stand up and do the right thing and make the right decisions regardless of whether they're hard. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Again, my name is Rebecca Castro, and I also work in the Department of Ethnic Studies. I don't think I mentioned that earlier. So I definitely would like to remind everyone here to please keep ethnic studies in your vision when selecting your next president. And I'll leave it at that. But I think definitely just trying to get ethnic studies developed here at CSUB, working with BC, and also working with, and not just BC, but our other college campuses nearby, and also working with the high schools, because we need to start connecting and again developing that ethnic studies program. As a person who went to school here, elementary school, middle school, and high school, we definitely need ethnic studies. I think ethnic studies would have been so life-changing if I had known more concepts when I was younger, right? The concepts that we discuss in ethnic studies, because I have lived those experiences, but I never really had the language to describe what I was experiencing as a child and the racism that I experienced here in Bakersfield. As I mentioned earlier, I was one of the few Latinas that you could count on two hands on my campus. So I definitely think we need ethnic studies here and to keep developing that, not just at CSUB, but throughout our community. And then I'm not sure if anyone else here spoke about representation and also just in general supporting our LGBTQ plus and also Two-Spirit students here on campus, because there has been some bad things happening. As someone mentioned earlier, we have bad things happening to our LGBTQ plus students and Two-Spirit students. They're not getting the respect, the dignity, and the protection that they deserve. And so I just want you to also select a president who is willing to protect our LGBTQ students. And that's it. Thank you.
So we've got about 5 minutes in our scheduled time. If there's anybody else who would like to come up, it's a last chance now, but there will be opportunities in writing and on the internet to add to whatever has been said. And it's been quite an afternoon, and I think we're all impressed with everything that's been said. Quite a range of emotions and experiences. One more person.
Hi, my name is Eugene Fry, and I'm in a master's in counseling and psychology program here. I've caught parts of this on Zoom, so pardon me if I repeat something that somebody else may have already said, but for what I have been able to catch and hear, there hasn't been any mention of people with disabilities and including them in the process. That in Kern County, I believe we have over 15% of the population has some type of disability, yet on campus and in our school, there is not that same proportional representation. And I would hope that our future president would seek to remediate that situation. And so that's what I wanted to say.
Aaron One works as public affairs here at CSUB, but I'm going to come up here on behalf of the AFSN network as the chair. A lot of ethnicities were spoken about today, but I'd just like for the next president not to forget about the Asian community, the Pacific Islanders, the Sikh community, the Desi Americans. So these are communities that flourish on their own, but there are some students here on campus that do need those support. I was fortunate enough to grow around a lot of leaders here in the community. I was born in the Philippines, migrated here 12 years ago, and some of the students that do migrate here in the US, they don't have those leaders, those mentors, and those support systems. So I do urge the next president to focus on these groups as well. Even though they're not as represented within the crowd right now, we do have those population here in this university. Same thing with the community, so just remember to think about them as well as you process your selection. So thank you.
Well, thank you, one and all. What a day. We will be certainly taking all this into account in a serious, really great effort. Thank you, members of the CSU Bakersfield community, for sharing your thoughts about the professional qualifications, experiences, and personal attributes that you feel the next president should possess to successfully lead this university into the future. It's critical that everyone lends their voices to the process today and throughout the search. Therefore, in addition to the comments speakers shared today, we welcome and encourage feedback through additional avenues. You may provide written comments via survey on the campus presidential search website. You can access this site by going to the campus homepage at, you may know it, csub.edu. Any comments provided will be aggregated and reviewed by the search committee as we compile feedback on the qualities and skill sets required of the next president. You may also provide nominations by emailing President Search, PRESIDENTSEARCH, President Search at calstate.edu. This email is also listed on the campus presidential search website. Both of these links have also been listed on the screen throughout. It's quite a process. This is one of the most important things we do, choosing a new president. I know you take this charge seriously, and your commitment and time are deeply appreciated. And thank you, everyone, for being with us this afternoon. The committee will now proceed to closed session, and thank you all once again.